Hello. Evening, everyone. Afternoon, morning, whatever freaking time zone or whatever. Yeah, been a mad few days. CPI. Don't think it's gonna matter much, does it? We'll see how things go. So, as normal, bung in some questions or whatever you want to do. We'll see how things go. Um, as I say, I don't think the CPI is going to really reflect what happens with crypto in the immediate future. I think there's a lot more things at stake at the moment, certainly when you look at the CPI data. Certainly when we look at USD data, certainly when we look at FTX, maybe a combination of everything might be fun, but we'll see. Anywho, what's been happening? The market's crumbled. We've lost another exchange. Tether looks like it's on the brink of collapse. So yeah, great fun. So yeah, as normal, plonk in your any sort of questions or if you want to hear some of my thoughts before we start talking about CPI. Obviously, like the stream, share it, tell your friends. You've probably not got any friends if you've been telling them to invest over the last 6 months, but it is what it is. So in terms of the overall bias of the market, yesterday was a bit of a shit day for futures. Maybe they are anticipating a bit of a lukewarm kind of reception on CPI. I don't think it's going to come in cold. Well, maybe not. I don't know. There is this article here on Seeking Alpha. Don't expect the October CPI to cool off the Fed pivot. I personally believe it's going to come in relatively the same. That's my personal opinion. If it is still at 8%, I think a lot of people will ask questions about the CPI and inflation. And ultimately, they may be thinking, well, actually, it's not working. You know, the base point rate hikes are not working. And yeah, we'll see how things go there, especially going into winter. But we'll see. It's very early days. Who we got? Hello, everyone. Got the regular mob here. LJ blaming it's his fault for the crash. Seems like every time I buy, the market crashes. Just need to go on a diet, mate. You know, literally, you're weighing it all down every time, just crushing it. Not good. USD pegging. When I always talk about this, don't I? I often laugh when this happens because everyone panics and the USD peg or Tether peg is a major thing. Panicking about it doesn't solve the problem. Every time the market has a dump, Tether FUD comes up. Now, I have put my buy orders into Great British Pound at the moment, right? Basically because my orders are far away from where they, I got my orders in yesterday. If that goes, the market will literally go bang. It will crash completely. If Tether goes and depegs, look at the volume of Tether versus everything else. It is an absolute mammoth thing. It's huge. Look at it. It's massive. As I say, if that goes, we're fucked. Put it that way. Put it bluntly as you want to put it. So, yeah. Even though I put a measure in that whatever stables I've got in the exchange is currently in Great British Pound, for, I can just move it around, which is quite nice to do so. I don't think I'm immune to anything if it goes pop. I think we're all going to suffer massively. Because I still hold a lot of crypto. But my stables may be protected for a little bit, but wow. But personally, I don't think it's going to go pop. I just think it's too. I don't want to say that word. Not financial advice, but it feels like it's. We've been here before. It has been depegged a little bit before. It has recovered. It tends to recover. We'll see how things go. But for me, that is the biggest player in the market. Look at the volume. It is the entire linchpin of the trade and volatility as well. Huge. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Quite a few people here today considering the mentalness of the market. Not good. But no, I do like days like this. I know it was shit with FTX going under. Not the right circumstances to get to some buy orders, but levels are levels, are psychological. When people panic and when there's greed in the air, things go wrong. And it clearly went true and it happened, which is never good. Let me just move that out of the way so I can see some of the questions because I have literally put, bear with me, let me just move this around a little bit. So there we go, I can see the questions now. Need the chat box nice and clear. Bear with, there we go. I can see it now, kind of, apart from this wire in the way, which is doom. Move that a little bit. There we go. But yeah, BTC, not looking good. What other questions have we got? Too big to fail? Nah. FTX was the second biggest exchange according to data, and that failed. So It's not ideal. It really isn't ideal. And, you know, this is what we don't want. In my opinion, I'm going to do a video about this tomorrow about the whole debacle of it. And I think it's one of those, isn't it? It's like every time we get something good, something bad happens. And it's, you know, this trust is going to get weaker and weaker. And people are just not going to trust it. Question, what's your timeline for the crypto and global markets to recover? Depends how bad it gets, realistically. If there is a depegging of USD and it causes more rumbles, if there is releases of coins due to the fallout of bankruptcy, there's so much going on, and bankruptcy could take months as well to kind of go through. It's not just an immediate thing, especially if it goes through the courts as well. We've not had the Mt. Gox, you know, return yet neither. So there's so much out there that we've got to look at, and considering how it's going, you know, it could be a good while. You know, I've said it before, we could be in accumulation zone for the next 18 months. Could be quite boring for a lot of people. You know, it will be pretty boring, but it's how markets are. And recoveries on a big, massive pump on a bull cycle to a really bad winter will take time because people have to build that trust. You've got to build that momentum. And things will need to be built again in terms of structure, better exchanges, better privacy protocols, better liquidity, better, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's so much to look at. It's ridiculous. What other cues have we got? My marriage to depegging. I'm not going to read the rest of that. I still have your alarms at 15 cents for XRP and 20 cents for ADA. Probably, yeah. I mean, they are the 15-cent XRP is a mental level. Possibly get hit. Who knows? Cardano, I think I've got an order at 20 cents. I did until I moved that into sterling, but I'll probably put it back in when it all settles down again. Any insights on whether Polkadot projects or even DOT itself may be exposed? I don't think Polkadot is exposed to any of it, according to rumor, but we'd know that. We'd know that anyways because I'm pretty sure our media research passed up on DOT, which is good. So yeah, you'd know if they were involved in it because they'd be crashing. The dump would be magnificent and also be all over socials too. Will you be looking to hold BNB into the next cycle? If it goes low enough, yes. If it goes below $100, I'll start getting interested in it. But right now, it's nowhere near my levels. BTC miner continue to work. Yeah, they'll work. Problem with the miners is all-time high hash rate, all-time high difficulty adjustment. Bit of a problem, so it's going to be very expensive. I've not really looked at Algo much, Algo, whatever it's called, so don't know. I'm not here to give opinions on coins, to be fair. Are you going to do a video on the buy levels? I literally did a video on how to find buy levels yourself literally last week. So if you go onto my YouTube channel, go and find the one that says buy levels. It tells you exactly what to do. I'm just going to be putting a brief level of interest of where I think things could go in terms of just structure. That's all it is. It's just going to be a box. They'll just be all text. It'll be very, very simple. It gives people perspective because if you look at the chart on anything, right? So let's just look at, maybe not Polkadot, BTC, right? If you zoom out on it, you're looking at history of interest. Like literally like, for example, here with BTC, right? You know, when you start looking left and you start seeing stuff like this, it's like this is your level of interest on the next drop. If we are going to fall, we're going to find levels of demand because people are going to A, push it down, and B, look to buy. So all I'll be doing is going, right, you know, next level for BTC between whatever region. Let me just remove some of that noise. You know, literally it'll be like this. It'll be like, right, if you're not buying this, in my opinion, if you're not buying this, you know, what are you doing? Literally, let's be honest here. You know, I've said that to a few people on Twitter. Like, people are like, oh, look at this. It's going to be great. If it gets there, well, there's nothing wrong with buying now. Like, let's be fair here. The entire market has crumbled. We've lost nearly 220 billion off the market in the last few days compared to where this pump was the other day. So we're over 1 trillion. Now we're at 794 billion. Mental moves, right? Buying this level here isn't a bad thing to buy if you're thinking long term. So it's all perspective. If you're buying solid assets that you believe are going to do well and you think you've got a good risk reward if everything goes well, it's fine. Because if you're buying up here, why aren't you buying down here? It's the ultimate element. It's a mental kind of thing to consider, but it's just the way it is. What else have we got? Solana haven't unlocked anything. Apparently they put it back into staking, which doesn't make sense, but hey ho. So glad that UK YouTuber is doing a live about shilling Bybit. To be fair, I love Bybit, but I don't shill it because, you know, if people want to use it, they can just go and use it. You know, I've used it for a long time. A lot of people just shill it because, you know, it's an easy way to like get people in, but you don't make much money on it. It's a bit of a shit revenue mechanism, to be fair. Personal opinion. You know, trading fees are not the biggest thing to earn money on. GMX seems like a good buy. Not a clue what GMX is, to be fair. Have you seen Butthole Coin? It's elite. New. Some better check on. Oh, Quant. Hold on. Let's have a little look at Quant. God. I was talking about that yesterday. Oh, dear. There you go. Bosh. We're right at the 618 levels, boys and girls. I upset a lot of people that day, I think. Oh, dear. On my Patreon, earn a portfolio. We're probably going to be buying at $69. Potentially. Should I sell now and buy lower? No, stupid idea. Don't do that. If you're going to sell some, not all. Because if it bounces from here, like you are literally just looking to sell at the point where this market will probably bounce. Everything that goes down goes back up again. Sell a little bit. If you want to have some capital, cool. Don't sell all of it. People do this, right? What they'll do is they'll buy like this, for example. Oh, look at me, Billy Big Bollocks. It's going to go to the fucking moon, right? And then when it gets down here, they'll sell it, and then it'll just go ping, and then you're sat here holding like literally a carry bag with fuck all in it. So don't do it like that. What everyone's exchanges are using in the UK? Binance. Coinbase isn't too bad, realistically. We're thinking about legislation and regulation framework right now. Scary thought. What I use for off-ramp and on-ramp is Swissborg, if anyone's wondering. Swissborg is fucking class for that. It's quick, it's easy, it's cheap, it's unbelievable. But I'm not really bothered about the high fees on it. I want it to my bank. It takes 5 seconds to get to your bank. That's all I want. I couldn't give a fuck if it cost me £10. Just get it in there. Also, it's in your name. So it's not really going to get binned, which is good. What do you think about Dogecoin? It's an investment? No. It's a currency. Dogecoin's a currency, right? So people get confused with Dogecoin. It is a fantastic currency, right? Because it's inflationary. So whenever you're spending and utilizing Dogecoin, this is going to change. It's always going to increase, right? Therefore, it's diluting itself over time with use case. It's just a currency that you can move around really quickly. It's the whole point of it. It was built as a currency. It still is a currency. So I wouldn't buy it as an investment. I mean, it will get hype. It will go up in value. But for me, not really interested. CPI is going to be 8.4. Man, if it's 8.4, God, stock market will crash. Another pump in the next 2 weeks cause maximum pain. I don't think the pumps are going to cause pain. I think it's the dumps that are causing pain right now. But hey, we'll see how things go. But we haven't got long until the CPI data is out. I am going to look at the DB tier account, which is usually the best one, for like quick information, news. We'll see how quickly it comes out. Hopefully it is quick. People might have to be quick on the charts because the last time I did it on here, the website I was using crashed. So it's like everyone's like interested in it for obvious reasons. But right now, when we're looking at the S&P, right, so in terms of the daily time frame, we've had a clear and obvious lower high, which is a real bad, real bad start to the point. And if we are going to roll over, that is putting us into the probability of a short if the data is, let's say, wobbly. But the thing is, right, we've had 4 consecutive 75 base points, and we're almost at ridiculous levels of interest rate, and this market is not coming down. I mean, the numbers are not coming down, which is scary. But I say 8% is looking bad because that is from March to now, we're at 8% and above. Nothing's changed. Like, oh, shit. Not good. Have I heard of Trias? Not heard of it, not looked at it. I'm not really looking at shitty, newish or low cap coins at the minute. Not the time to start looking at those. They need to survive first. People forget that. A lot of coins need to survive. They need to figure out what they're doing. How is this bear market compared to 2018? Ha! Very different. Very, very different. I did say it with it different this time. The last one was all about the ICOs. So people buying at the top, new money, and people just crumbling, right? This time it's all about irresponsible owners and institutions and all that kind of shit, where it's kind of created a problem where there wasn't a problem anyways. But that's why it's totally changed. In my opinion, this market is very different. Even when you look at 2020 in terms of the COVID crash, there wasn't any exposure to all these kind of influences or VC funds and capital of like high leverage kind of buying. Very, very different. Anyone else treating this like a normal day in crypto? I think it's pretty normal. I quite like dump days. It's been a while since we've had one. I've been talking about dump days for a while, and everyone's like, we're not going to get a dump, it'll be fine. And then all of a sudden, bloodbath. Oh, shit. People shit themselves, don't they? Swissborg is not available in the US now. The US is the shittest market in the world. Like, you've got to create your own framework to get things in the US. It's absolutely dog shit. Where do you keep your stables in the next current month? For me, I've got it in Binance. I've got it in Great British Pounds at the moment. So if I want to buy something, I just move it over into stables, into the asset, then out of the asset. If I wanted to do that, or I can buy in Great British Pounds and put the orders in. Little liquidity though, it's a problem. What are your favourite top coins? I'm not going to tell you that. If you join my Patreon, you'll know. You reckon this massive Sol release? Yes, it will affect the market massively. Hugely, massively affect it. What's your opinion on a safer stablecoin? Right now, I'd say Binance USD. Right now, I'd say that's the best one. Only because it's regulated in New York and stuff like that. It's also got the biggest reserves. They've just released their reserves as well. If you go on Twitter, if you look on Binance, they've literally released how much money they've got in their pots. Fucking lots of it, by the way. I think Binance are pretty much, I wouldn't say, I don't want to use the term bulletproof, but they can withstand a lot in terms of, because of the way they run it. How to convert USDT on Binance to, just go to the convert tool and put in USD or USDT or whatever, and just put in the currency that you want to use and just press convert. It's free to do it, which is one plus point, by the way. I wouldn't say, to be fair, I wouldn't say any stablecoins are safe right now. If they're all got liquidity problems, I think Tether's the worst one you want to fail. You don't want that one to fail because it's the biggest trading one, which is where the problems are. Good time to buy FTT. No. Yeah, Thomas, I know you're saying about inflation being higher. There's a bit of data that's coming out saying that certain ones expected high, which I think it's food or something like that. I can't remember. I think food's gone up quite a bit in America. Did I have any exposure to FTX? Nope. Never recommended it. Never really liked it. Gala. Don't really care about Gala, to be fair. I don't really look at USD, not USD, so I don't really look at metaverse coins. I've never had an interest in the metaverse. I think it's too early. What's the next FUD? China ban, mining ban, something like that will come out. I think Solana would be all right, in my opinion, because a lot of people are comparing it to Luna, right? But Luna was very different. Luna was a mechanism and a protocol to keep the peg of UST up by basically creating more Luna, right? Where all this is doing is speeding up the process of getting the VCs out and the capital out that was locked up in it, which was holding the price up. Providing the blockchain survives, providing, the validators stick around and all that kind of stuff, and the team stay together and stay strong, technically price is irrelevant. So maybe it might be all right, but I wouldn't just say that and go buy it now. I'd wait and see what happens with the fallout, see what happens. And if there's an opportunity to buy Solana at a really good price and you think it's okay, it might be a really good gift. But I think it's personal opinion, not financial advice. I think it's far too early to say that because sometimes you just don't know what underneath, like the hood, is certain things pegging up Solana via price, i.e. the development funds or wages and stuff. Then if they've got to make spending cuts and all kinds of stuff, it may be a big problem. But it's too early to say, but it's very different to likes of Luna. Luna was like it was going to shit itself because it was going to dilute all the tokens, which is not good for obvious reasons. What is your opinion on a merge, on Ethereum after the merge? What merge? What's happened? Nothing's changed. Still the same thing. Oh, it's one of those, isn't it? I'm buying some stuff. I have been buying stuff. I've not bought any BTC yet. I've got orders in for BTC, but only one at the moment. But that's it. Nothing exciting. Still waiting to see what's going to happen. Are we going to get some CPI data soon? Come on, give me some CPI information, some news, some wobbles. What's his face is speaking on thing today. What else have we got? What news have we got? Anything interesting? Other than Justin Sun wanting to, like, trying to save people, become a hero again. He probably doesn't have money neither, to be fair. VC's getting wiped out. Yeah, they've been wiped. A lot of them have been wiped out again. I think retail are the smartest people in the world at the minute. Honestly, I do. At least with retail, we didn't crash the market this bad, like as quickly. Like in 2008, not 2008, 2018, sorry. Yeah, it was bad. Don't get me wrong, but you know, to see things blow up like it has been ridiculous, to be fair. Do you think we'll go lower? If Solana releases all their stuff, if there's a fallout with bankruptcy, if there's a fallout with more exchanges that are potentially illiquid that's coming out into the surface, it will definitely go lower because people are panicking right now. They're flapping. And panics move the market, don't they? Let's be fair. If you're panicking, that's what moves the market. And yeah, it's a chain reaction. But are you really a mobster? Kind of obvious, really, isn't it? Could say that for a lot of people in the space. Does Martini drink martinis? Good question. Don't know. You drink some, he's off the fucking welt, that boy, isn't he? Christ. Oh, what's happening? No reaction from anything right now in terms of futures. No anticipation. We've got 6 minutes until we get the data. Mount Gox days. I was nearly buying Bitcoin in Mount Gox days. Like literally, like I was looking into Bitcoin in 2013. I just couldn't get my head around it in terms of how you bought it and stuff. It was really weird back then. And then I would join the military. Forgot about it for a bit, and then in 2014, literally the first, like the second year I was in the military, I was looking into it again, and then Mount Gox literally went boom. Like I'll better wait for a bit, and then I bought again. Well, 2 years later. Which bear market was tougher to survive? Oh, 2018 by far was so tough. I think it's because of knowledge, though. Saying that, if I'm putting this on my neutral hat, I would say I'd probably struggle now versus 2018 because 2018 it was slow and continuous and we knew it was just dropping and dropping. There was quite a lot of hopium in these little bear market rallies, and also as well there was no real kind of bad news until it really just popped, like literally a few days before. Whereas in the previous cycle it was constant bad news, constant bad news, constant bad news, and it just kept on going down. Whereas this, it was like, oh, we're fine, nothing's happening. We're consolidating for a lot longer. A bit weird this. Oh, bit of a rally. Oh, bull market's back on. But you've also got as well in this cycle a lot more influence, a lot more noise, a lot more interest. So it's kind of one of those where you could. I think if I didn't have the experience of 2018, you would have got caught up in the emotions of people and the noise, which would have made it harder to survive, especially if you're trusting exchanges more, because a lot of people are trusting exchanges more, where back in the 2018 days and even 2017, exchanges were going bust, like Cryptopia and stuff like that. But for me, people didn't really trust exchanges back then because Binance was new, Qcoin was new, Coinbase was a bit iffy, Bittrex and Poloniex had liquidity issues, and like they never really trusted them. Whereas this time, everyone's like, yeah, we're trusting them, totally fine, perfectly normal, which is mental, really. But we'll see how things go. What's your opinion on the Premier League this year? Absolutely dog shit this year. I think most of the teams are like, or most of the players are like thinking of the World Cup. I think no one's really started. Like, I'm a Liverpool fan, and people like laugh and joke about how shit Liverpool are doing. But Liverpool were 64 games last year, whatever they played. They had a 2-week break, then a 3-week pre-season, then straight into the season. No players about, and like all the players that are any good are all freaking injured because it's just I don't know. It's just I think like every team is like stop start stop start. It's very odd this year. Like we've seen a lot of teams just doing shit where normally they do a lot better, but it is what it is. Doesn't the macro picture make one bit tougher? Yeah. The macro picture for me is creating a new generation of interest, because if we're 40 years down the line We've never had a market like this in terms of like the data, right? In terms of the inflation and all that kind of good stuff is like new for a lot of people. So it depends how they ride it. And then you got crypto involved in that as well now. It's it's a relatively sizable asset of interest now versus what other stuff. If we're looking at gold and stuff like that, like gold for example, you know, gold could well be rallying very very soon. If people start panicking in this market, we may well find that people use a safe haven and go into gold. We'll see if it goes up, but it could be fun. We hate Liverpool, Man City. Man City, fucking in League Two like 12 years ago, man. Or however many years ago it was, 20 years ago. Good old days. I've seen Carlisle United, which is, well, my local team, play Man City back in the olden leagues. The key levels video I did 2 weeks ago. I literally did a video teaching people how to find key levels. It's all on a plate. Freebie. Right, 2 minutes until we get some CPI data. Not 1 ounce of nugget of news well, I wouldn't say news, information that's coming on the charts yet. No anticipation just yet. Good evening. I don't have time to learn. I don't trade anyways. Trading for me is one of those. It's like whether it happens or not. I dollar cost average low and I resell high. Positional holdings. If I want to trade, I just trade the momentum of like a little bit of leverage and have a bit of fun with it. But I don't go too balls deep on it. Never have, never will. I must say, scrolling through my Twitter feed, it feels like much closer to that real capitulation. I think a lot of people have been shook up by these FTX bollocks, to be fair. I think a lot of people have lost like 7-8 figures on that exchange by just being really ignorant. Yeah, Carlisle's my local. That's where I'm from. Took people ages to figure that out. My accent's a bit weird. CPI announcement in 5 hours. Not in 5, it's like literally in a minute. Made my best trades by shorting Solana on it. I wish I did. I should have shorted it on the Google News. I did say it was all fluff and bollocks and shit, but it is what it is. 2 years, so another year's time you'll get your glimmer back. Not your glimmer, your, what do you call it? Your polka dot back. Are we going to move yet? Come on. Can't buy the dip. UK banks don't allow it. Yeah. Unless you try Swissborg. Oh, dollar's just dumped. Anyone got the CPI data to hand? Without making it up. Because the markets are moving now. Bitcoin's doing something. See if it's on Twitter. Oh, wow. It came in cool. 7.7. Cooler than expected. I was expecting an 8%. Bottoms in, guys. Bitcoin's going to go probably up and then back down again with everything else going on. Boom. I did think me time frames were a bit off. There's the hours. So the dollar's dumping like crazy. Let's go to Martini guy. Time frames. Shits and giggles. Basically the dollar and the US bonds doing whatever. Jesus, what the hell's happened to Bitcoin? Sweet. There we go. Winner chicken dinner. I was expecting an 8% goey, but we'll see. Lagging data though. You got to remember it is lagging data. It is a year behind, a month behind. Sorry. Sweet. My buy orders from yesterday should be doing all right. Short term. See what the S&P and the Nasdaq do in the next couple of minutes. But the thing is, though, like, let's be fair here, right? 7.7% is still high. It's still, like, in America, it's still high. And there's still opportunity for that to go and stay there for the next 4 months, potentially. You know, if we're sitting here next year and it's like 5% inflation rates, it's thinking, oh, God, it's still bad. Still a long time to be sat at these levels. It's really, really hard. Well, at least the market is reacting a little bit. Let's be fair here, BTC was always going to bounce. Like, nothing drops that much and not bounce. You know, let's be fair here. But if we are going to recover, it might be going to resistance. A lot of people will be looking to like get their money out of crypto. A lot of people will be panicking. A lot of people will be looking for an exit point as well. Because I think people are a little bit worried about, you know, transparency, safety, all that kind of stuff. We'll see how things plan out. But for me, I think it's interesting to see what's going to happen in the next few months, certainly with Christmas around the corner. All kinds of stuff, especially if you're thinking about bankruptcy with FTX and stuff like that. You know, it's still not all ironed out just yet. But let's see what happens. I mean, BTC is like, this was always going to bounce, boys and girls. We all knew that. Like, if you were kind of thinking like this wasn't just going to do anything, it's always going to bounce. Like 4-hour time frame, for example. I mean, look at the state of it, man. If we're looking at this, right, and we're looking at the obvious bits of structure, we may well hit key levels around here, like 18k, where we've actually failed to break that for fucking months, if you recall. It's been here for such a long time. That might be the retest, potentially. The retest of interest could be of fun games. Come on, TradingView. You know it's volatile when TradingView crashes. Come on. So yeah, I got to look at this as a level for BTC. Monster level that finally broke. We may well retest it. If we do retest it and we do fall from it, it could get pretty ugly. But as well, there might be a lot of liquidity for shorting up here. So could be fun. Could be very, very fun. We all know what goes up in the bear market usually comes back down, doesn't it? Not good. But in terms of altcoins, let's have a little look on a minute. Yes. Look at them. Boom. That's what you want. You want recoveries. But at the same time, though, how high does it go and how long does it stay high? Because if you've been buying the orders at the levels that I've been buying the last few days, I've been buying quite a lot, to be fair. Yesterday I bought fucking shitloads. This is bad. Fed funds pricing in a lower 75 base point next hike. Possible, isn't it? 50 might be the next one. I still don't believe that's a pivot, though. Like, for me, a pivot has to be negative. You can't just go and still raise interest rates and go, pivot. It doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, well, we'll keep increasing interest rates just to, like, have quantitative tightening. But it's definitely, yeah. People get very, very excited. This is what causes emotion to fly up the wall as well. Even gold, like gold's doing pretty well today still. Still continuing to go higher. Gold is up on the month, sorry, 6% so far. Pretty strong. What banks are you using to get fiat at Binance? I use a Nationwide and I've never had an issue. Learning cryptos with NatWest as well, and they ban people apparently. For me, this is the best time to be in crypto if you did take profits. Yep, put it that way. To have is to grow, basically. You've got to have the money to put it in low, and then you've got to rebuy it as low as you possibly can. I don't think this is the bottom, by the way. I think we could go lower if things go wrong. Like, there's still too much out there. There's still too much to play. At risk. Certainly if there's issues. Certainly if you look at the dynamic of the miners, if you look at the element of, as I said before, bankruptcies, it's mental. I still can't believe we've got 60k subs. I've not sold my soul yet. Might sell my soul next cycle. Yep, blessing in disguise. Some of these orders. Some assets are really good. Like down into these levels, like some of them are absolutely fantastic, and like to buy them where we're buying them, it's quite nice, you know. Because like this is a thing, right? What I was saying back in the day of like, you know, the start of last year, even this year. Like, imagine if Ethereum went down to $1,000. Imagine if, like, I don't know, Chainlink went down to like $6 again. Right? Random shit like that. Everyone would be like, "Fuck off, man! You're talking out your ass." You know, opportunities are here on solid assets to basically go back up eventually over time with a bull cycle. There will be another bull cycle at some point. There always is, but we are on. You know, we're leaving the fact of a 15, 16-year bull cycle with the stock market, and crypto is obviously a part of that as well, a long term with obviously recessions and all that kind of shite as well, which we've got to, you know, juggle at the same time. It's never going to be easy, but if you're in the market and you're buying at the low prices, that's kind of putting the odds in your favor, which is what you want. And right now, my buy orders from yesterday are looking pretty sweet. Happy days. My phone keeps buzzing. I wonder why. Bloody hell. You have appeared on 121 searches this week on LinkedIn. No wonder my DMs are mental. How low do you think Ethereum will go? Oof. I don't know. It's a hard one to judge Ethereum, I think. For me, I'm looking at this level here. 600 is like the one level that I am looking at. But I'm also looking at this one as well, about 800. So for me, I'd rather wait and see what happens if we break this level. Because when we zoom in on this a little bit, right? We are forming a little bit of a downtrending structure. We probably will retest this level again of about $1,000, 3-figure ETH. But it depends on the entire market. For me, you know, in between this hole here is probably a decent little accumulation zone. But we'll see. It depends if Ethereum's a security as well. If that comes out and bites it on the ass, ooh, that could be fun too. But no, we'll see. It's very early days in terms of the. I think it's still early. I still think we've got a long time to accumulate. I don't think this is going to V-shaped recovery anytime soon. We've still got a lot of things at play. 20 cents ADA, probably, yeah, possible. If altcoins die, yes. Do I like ICP? It's all right, but it was made wrong. They broke it on release. They absolutely destroyed people, poor buggers. It's not a bad project though. Just didn't do it right. But even when we're looking at the prices on that right hand side here, it's like absolutely crazy. Some of these price points. This is where people get excited though. Lower the prices, higher the bounce every single time. Every time. Accumulating link, no. Don't really like link to be fair, I think it's shit. Personal opinion. Check the weekly BTC RSI. It's not going to tell me much, is it? Trading view is laggy as fuck, by the way. Still could go a long way down. What percentage of stables am I in right now? Let me tell you. Bear with me. I shall find out and give you some live data because it changes every hour by the looks of things. I am currently in 40%. 40% stables right now. Which isn't too bad, to be fair. XRP versus SEC. Don't know. Don't know. The fact that library lost is a big one, so that could be a problem. Your voice sounds like Johnny Depp. Not American, that's a problem. FTX have tons of BTC? Probably. Heading to your prediction of 600 billion probably on this. Ooh, maybe. I do think this sort of area is probably going to happen at some point. eventually over time, or even like, we've kind of already tested and tickled this area, which is of interest. This is why I was buying yesterday. I was like, right, we're at a big level of interest. I'm just going to start literally loading the truck with a few things, get some passive income going with the old staking rewards. But as I say, there's still a lot to kind of pan out. I don't want to be too bearish though, because we are literally at floors. It's quite nice to be at these levels and actually be able to go, you know what? Quite happy to buy some of these. Tether seemed to have, yeah. Tether always has issues when there's dumps though. That's why I like to move it out just in case it does like properly depeg. That's a good thing about some exchanges. You can literally move it into Great British Pound for free, which is Binance at the minute, which is pretty decent. But no, I'm quite happy with the market right now. I'm quite happy that I've managed to load up. Yeah, Polkadot is still on my radar. I bought some at 580 the other day. The other week. No, 3 weeks ago actually, I bought at 580. Data's already out, 7.7. Came in colder. I don't know what whatever that token is, Nick. I have no idea what it is. I don't look at tokens very often. I think people should stop asking me about tokens. I really haven't looked at tokens for 12 months. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. What I do in a bear market is I buy assets that have been proven. That's all I do. If there's anything new and shiny that looks quite good, I may buy them. I may not. Usually don't, to be fair. I only hold like 7 coins. Not massive amounts, which is always a good thing. Right, I think I'm going to leave it for now, though. I've been on here for a good 40 odd minutes. S&P is bouncing. Nasdaq currently bouncing, which was kind of expected, to be fair. It is, well, it was very likely to happen due to the cooler print. A little bit cooler, anyways. It's good for the markets in terms of having a relief rally, but for me, it's still, we're nowhere near out the woods. Nowhere near. Problem is, we'll see where things go. But cooler data, which is quite good. Finally, we got some progress in the life of the markets. Might make some actual money at some point. Right, have fun, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow on the normal video referencing. I'll talk about FTX.